just have a little bit more time, and I got some very disturbing updates from friends and family in Ukraine. I took a break from watching news, but yeah, I want to talk today about the value of human life and, well, more like about devaluing of human life, uh, such in such a tragic circumstance like that are going on in Ukraine in this case, and the devastation of it, the devastation of complete and utter devaluing of human life. And I have major concern right now for women and children. I was saving this for tomorrow to talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it today, while I have some time that I can share this with you. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for stopping by again. So, right now, Ukrainian government is working extremely hard to not allow women and children, especially boys of teenage age, to leave the country. They are trying to find a way where women would have military obligation. So, for example, if you're a nurse, if your profession could be somehow connected with any war duties, um, you cannot leave. They have been, to be fair, this has been going on for a while. To be fair, right? It's not like this is something in particularly absolutely new, but in a way they are starting to see. And I was listening to a short speech where one of the, gosh, I forgot his last name right now. I can't say it right now, but one of the main leaders were saying that they are ready and have no problem to ask women, for example, like in Israel, to get on the duty, to get on a military duty with the men because the country needs it, and also all of the boys need to prepare to register. My friends in Ukraine right now cannot bring the children to the doctor. If you're 15 plus, they cannot bring a child to the doctor because the information gets reported, and then they have to collect information to eventually get it and get them into military training. And I am so heartbroken. This goes way beyond politics. I'm so heartbroken and so mortified that women, there are any women, any mothers, any wives, any sisters, any responsible grown women that can possibly support the terror of Zelensky in Ukraine, that decided to turn his back on logic and show that in his eyes, life means absolutely nothing. It's not that it could be fair in any way that Ukraine is getting attacked. It's not that the aggressive, maniacal, tyrannical government north of Ukraine is doing things right. But when we talk about your home, the number one thing you think is preservation. And the mortifying thing, and I believe the science of the third world country mentality, is that when the leaders do not care about their citizens, when they are ready to use citizens basically to hold on the attack, when they use people to just like throwing meat to a dog, just okay, I'm gonna put 10,000 people here, 5,000 people here. They're not going to win, they won't be able to hold the enemy, but it can give us a couple hours of time. And this is how I feel on a larger scale, what is going on, and it's so devastating. They are grooming people and children for extreme hatred. They install it in people's mind that the best thing you can do is kill, and this is really reminds me of Israel Palestinian conflict. Wait, sorry. It really reminds me of Israel Palestinian conflict, because that's how it is. They try to install this extreme hate, uh, and disdain, and kind of desensitize people, what about the war, what that really is. And this is so mortifying. My friend who is right now there in Kiev, Ukraine, she told me that they're teaching children to report their little sisters and brothers and mothers and fathers if they watching, like for example, if you watch a Russian cartoon or you sing a Russian song, uh, you need to report, because this is enemy's language. um, and just so to give you an understanding, in Ukraine, most people grew up speaking both languages, and in some parts it's mostly Russian, and in some parts it's mixed. It's just different. I'm from the central Ukraine, so I speak both languages fluently, but I also speak the dialects. The dialects, if you're not a native speaker, could be very, very difficult. And when you live there, you just pick up on them naturally. And you, although I speak, and many people are like me, although I speak fluent Ukrainian, my first language happened to be Russian, like most people who were born the time that I was born. I say 80s, 90s, and back further back, and also it depends on where you are at. But that's so it's more important what language you speak with what accent than for you to be unharmed and alive. You're supposed to report your family members if they do not speak the right language. You're supposed to literally report your little brother or your sister if you not if they did not speak the right language that morning. I am just, I'm in such a state of shock. And I'm making this video second because my friend, she wants to come. She doesn't speak very well English, so she's very shy. But I really wanted her to come on a live and talk about how is that to be a mother of a boy, a mother in general, but especially a mother of a boy who is about to reach the age where they can call you to serve. I just wanted her to share that. Um, I just wanted her to share that with a bigger audience because she actually lives through that. But unfortunately, um, the government, the Ukrainian government, really sees the gain, the financial gain. I mean, I'm pretty sure that most people can see this by now, but most of them see financial gain uh, the most important, and they feel as if the resource of people won't end, which is really concerning and ridiculous. And my friend told me that they start actively grooming children in schools once again, with certain cartoons, with certain propaganda, and they want children to kind of get into that mode that the war is something that is necessary, the war is something that good, that is basically good and important, and children, young boys need to get ready now that they could be sacrificed, they could have, they should they should be getting into the mentality that sacrificing your life is a natural thing. And this one that had me, that brings me the most pain, is thinking about this, that they're really trying to tell you that, yeah, you are so important. Basically, they tell you that you are so important for the country, that you need to get all the skills that you can fight for your country. Not to say that we will do everything and anything to not to have to sacrifice our people. And by the time these adolescents, children are turning into adults, the war will be long time gone. Instead of that, they are grooming children to, especially boys, but they want to encourage women into the war as well, and it's only a question of time, how soon that happens. Of course, we have hope. We have hope that things will get negotiated, and so things will be forced to stop, but we all know, and most of us understand the complexity of that, how difficult that will be to do at this moment. I still have faith, of course, but it's just an extremely complex thing to resolve, and I am just mortifying to see that most leaders in Ukraine do not look for preservation. I don't even know if there is a single one that I know that is interested in preservation of the country, preservation of, saving people's lives. I don't really, I don't, I could not name one. I'm gonna ask, some of my friends and family who lives there, if if there would be an election, if there would be a change, do we even have a leader that would like that to end, or are people getting sacrificed for bottomless dollars that they think they're going to get? Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it is pretty sad. It is pretty devastating, but it is what it is at the moment. And some information that she shared with me, I'm not even ready to share on the here yet because it's not fully confirmed. But I think that we all have been learning. We all have all these websites when people are showing off their stuff, their clothes, their lifestyle, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know what else people use to show off. And I'm thinking, do we have a website when we show off the value of people's lives? I don't know if there is a website like that. I don't know. Anybody who is giving me advice what I should or should not do on my channel is going to be blocked. Okay. I appreciate people who take their time and comment and put thoughtful comments, but please don't tell me what I need to do on my own channel. I can talk about anything I want, and if you don't like what I talk about, you can open your own and show your face, share your great ideas. Elizabeth, I know you missed yesterday's live. I'm gonna post it on Patreon tomorrow. I know you're still on my Patreon, right? I think you are. I will post it for, yeah, for those of you guys who missed my live yesterday. It was super chill and relaxed. We just had fun, talking about travels and talking about actually mentality differences. Yeah, I'm sorry, darling. I will post it tomorrow. There is a reason why I can't post it today, but yeah, it will be posted on Patreon tomorrow morning, or maybe even I'll post it later tonight. I might be able to do that. Yeah, I just went a bit too personal, and I kind of don't want that information on the internet. Money is always a factor. I know. That is what a friend of mine was telling me, who's right now in Ukraine, and it's such a hard choice when you build your life. You already, you invest already half of your life. Let's say you're like 35, 40 years old, um, and you have to start over. Maybe you are not, maybe your English is not the best. You have all these fears and things like that, and you have to leave everything, and you're afraid that maybe by leaving the country you will hurt your child more, for example, or you will break your family, whatever else happens. I mean, it's such a difficult choice, but I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm coming to an understanding that I can only help my native country when I'm out of it, because the corruption has the best of it. And I've never thought that corruption can be like this cancer and go against all the common sense and all the human values. I've never thought that I would see that. I always knew that our government was always very, very corrupted in Ukraine, but I didn't expect for things to be like this. And seeing our so-called leader just wanting to the war to continue endlessly, hurts a lot. Yes, and this is what my friend Nathan, hello Nathan, this is what my friend told me. She said, I'm convinced and I know that the main factor is the money that is involved, the money, the people get sold, basically people getting sacrificed for money. It's really, really horrible, the way it has been going on. Yes, corruption is a satanic behavior. Yes, and it's so weird because growing up somewhere, I've always knew that problem. We always had the bribery problem, the corruption problem, but it was never that obvious. And I'm coming to realization, seeing that human life um, have been devalued. It's just really hard to realize, that I think that was, what makes corruption would always make third world country, even out of the most educated nation, a nation who reads, a nation who studies, a nation who invents, corruption will just suck the life out of it. Just like it was in Mexico. For those of you who just joining, I went on this little trip to Mexico recently, like a few days ago. And it was so fascinating. You can tell it's a rich country. You can see there is a lot of potential, amazing, nature and resources, right? But none of that is gonna go to people. And that foreign countries won't be investing in a lot because of the issues that this country have, the issues with the law. Oh, somebody sent me something. Wait, I'm sorry, guys. I don't have my holder. Let me see. Somebody sent me a Cashapp. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm actually so hungry. Actually, I need to go get a few things. Thank you. I'm saying I'm so hungry because here's David says this is your annual. Let's see, for your annual for your annual smoothie. Thank you so much, David, and welcome back. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes, I'm hoping to bring my friend. I really want her to share with you, what is really going on. But I think people do have an idea. But I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know what it is. I'm always itching. Have I think I have allergy for this for all this awful topics. But um, what hurts me once again about the situation, what hurts me the most about the war and things like that is that human life takes is taken for granted, and human life is so developed like it's nothing, it's so much, everything else is so much more important. And I think when you are living in a country that devalues you as a human, that do not want to protect you, you have all rights to run away. There is a lot of talk going on about, oh, people, live in Ukraine, or, they are like, how do you call a person that runs away from military duty? Hi, Jason. Hello, Jason. How in America we would call a person who has to be in a military duty? How do you call them if they decide to run away, although they should be serving? I don't know that in English, how to say it. But there is so much going on. People try to shame those men who don't want to serve. They try to shame women that deserter. Yeah, uh-huh. Desertir. Okay. Desertir, deserter. Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's not a shameful thing, because even though men generally protectors and providers, I feel like you shouldn't be forced. You shouldn't be forced without your government even making attempt to resolve things. I just think it's very, very weird, very unfair, and I'm really concerned. I'm so concerned. I hope that I will learn some good news too. I hope so, because I haven't really learned or have consciously avoided the updates for about a week. And I did, my friend reached out to me and she told me that she doesn't know what to do. um yeah. There is another law that they're trying to pass, is that people of Ukraine belong to Ukraine, to Ukrainian so basically that people of Ukraine belong to Ukraine. I mean, if that makes any sense, because it doesn't, right? Basically, uh, that citizens belong to their country because of the war, and nobody can leave. That is really scary. I'm glad for all the people that took a leap of faith and left. And in the beginning of the war, it was so much easier. Right now, it's much harder, and all those offers, most of them expired, and it's just so very sad. But yes, I just want to say that we learn how to value all these material things, and I think material things are important, but so painful to see that people losing their lives for the material things of others. I've never thought that I will see something like this in my life, and it is very, very devastating. But the Ukrainian government is doing everything inside for people to try to leave, escape, and run. They try to control your finances. They try to tax you on absolutely everything, and they're making it impossible for people to survive. Really, really impossible. We haven't faced that kind of situation since the Vietnam War. Yeah, even then they weren't kidnapping people to make them go. Yeah, I know. I know that alone should ruin credibility of the so-called leader. Those videos, thank God for internet, that should ruin his credibility. Uh, the way he just drags people and throws them like that. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. So I really wish I would have some more uplifting. I wish I would have some more uplifting news, but I don't. Of course, we are looking forward for some updates. There gonna be some decisions taken soon, but I am just so devastated to see that, and it makes me want to value life and freedom so much more. It's not just words, you when you realize that you may not be free, there is nothing worse than that. You realize that your real precious thing is your will, so that I can talk with you in my car, I can share my thoughts, I can go take a walk, I can go and do things that I want to do. We really don't think about it, we just take it for granted because it's here. Because it's there. Imagine somebody tells you that you cannot do this. Well, we had a little bit of that, when we had COVID. Whatever. I'm sure they're gonna put the research now under this video. We're gonna call it panini. When we had panini, we saw that the government is thirsty for control, for controlling people, but seeing human sacrifice at such a large scale is more defined. I'll be honest with you. Eventually, the military will turn on Zelensky. That is very interesting. Yeah, he will not survive this. I agree. I agree. Eventually, the military will turn on him. I 100% agree with you, and I wish it would happen sooner than later. But we talk about on this channel about different dynamics and power dynamics and relationships aspect, and I just want to say that the sign of a sick man is that when he sacrifices people for his ego. A man who is a true leader, he would do everything and anything to not sacrifice people. He will not try to look as a hero. He will be a hero because he would put his life on the line. He would get on his knees if needed. He would do anything and everything to prevent people from losing their lives, their families, their children. And a lot of people, when I talk about this, tell me that I don't understand anything. And I want to say that I understand enough to say that the true leader of the country wants to preserve his country. He wants for the country to develop, thrive. He's not going to be robbing his country. He's not going to be dragging the country to the war. And he's not going to be going crazy and act insane when millions of lives of people depend on him. He's not gonna be overwhelmed with the idea of a power. He would use his power to preserve and save people. I know a lot of people want to believe that he's this messiah, this great person, and for a while, a lot of people believed in that. But time really shows who is who, and unfortunately I don't think that people will forgive him what he done. And I completely agree with you, Jason. I think that very little left. I think he's gone. He's gonna be gone because nobody can work with him. People inside of Ukraine, they're sick and tired to, you know, not only imagine not only serving in the army, but knowing that they gonna come after your children, after your wife, if they think that she is important for the government. They also now made this law where if the government needs your car or your apartment, they can take it. Yeah, because it's military needs. So yeah, if the government needs your car or your apartment, you must provide it. And yeah, if you're getting to be a certain age, you must register, or else, it's they're really hoping for these things to go long. They want children to get this mentality. They want children to have hatred. So basically, they want forever going war because they want everyone uh, to adopt the mentality that this will never end, and that it is normal to live in a state of war. And they're really working on children's minds. I cannot imagine, have to report your mom, your dad, that they spoke the wrong language or they watched the wrong program. So yeah, it's the dictatorship is insane, absolutely insane. And I feel very bad for people who couldn't leave for whatever reason. I know most people regret not leaving, but right now it's very difficult. A lot of programs are closed, and just in general, it's just really difficult to leave right now. So, my dear friends, that these are the sad news. I was really hoping to have some better news about all of this. Um, but you know better than me because you probably were following what's going on. But I think the being in anti-war mode is being in a mode of growth, being in a mode of letting yourself living the life, even if you are in a war zone, either having a chance to live it if you can, or making the mindset that would be the opposite of continuing the war. When you have plans, to have family, when you have plans to have business, to develop yourself, to do all these things, rather than just falling a victim of this. They shame people. If you post a photo near the palms, or you are having a good time, or you're laughing, or you're getting married, or you're pregnant, if you post any happy photos, anything about the future, anything about the living life, the amount of hate you're going to get is just unbelievable. It's just beyond imaginable. People just gonna spew hate on you because you dare to live, you dare to be alive, you dare to value your day, you dare to feel alive, no matter where you are. So the it's really painful to see the country being eaten by corruption and hate from within, and people agreeing for the agreeing to be victims. I don't think this is going to last long. I think, Jason, I'm going to end with this. I really hope that people will be able to see it more and more brighter, and there would be a turn of power, and people will go against this. They actually already, before I left for my trip, they already made this law that peaceful demonstrations are not allowed, and that police reserve the right to open fire. Police reserve, I'm gonna make another video about this. I'm gonna find the actual document, but police reserve the right to open fire at anybody who protests. Basically, it's like when you know you are in a wrong, But and you know that people will gonna go against you. You're making the law like this, that you take from people the right to protest your bullshit, you know, to protest your nonsense. And I find this very, very disturbing. So I think they're going to hold it, and they may be able to hold it for a while. But I can tell you right now, Ukrainian mothers are not going to submit to this. They're not going to be excited to put their teenagers on military training, on obligatory military training. I can guarantee you right now. And if worse come to worse, you know, guys, that's something you need to know about Ukrainian women. The worst come to worst, the women, simply the women will come and make a demonstration and dismantle the whole thing. This is how I know my country. I could be wrong, but there is this point of no return. You know, there is this point of boiling when I believe the women will take charge. You know, because generally we let men rule, we let men take decisions, we trust that men know better in these kind of situations. But you know what happened to a lioness when the lion is not around? So I have faith also, and I think that it won't be able to last much longer, and I hope so. I have faith in it, and I would say don't play with a lioness. Don't play, you know, with a mama bear, as they say, because women will take apart these bastards. They really will. Um, because I can see that people are boiling inside. They're absolutely boiling, and that goes like, beyond any kind of politics. So let's pray for people all over the world start to appreciate and value human life and everything that it takes to create human life and to continue to continue growing and evolving in this crazy world. I hope that people will rise against this. So, with that being said, my dear friends, I will see you very soon. Thank you for joining the live. If you missed yesterday live, check out my Patreon tonight or tomorrow morning shortly. You actually will get notification if I post something on Patreon and you're a member. And I will, if you want to support my channel, you know how to do that with my coffee links. You have my PayPal. If you have ideas, comments, please post them below. And I will get back to every single one of you. Thank you. I will see you very soon.